Hello, happy end of January and happy almost year of the tiger. I let the month get away from me a little bit because I've been trying to focus on spending more time relaxing and working on a couple of different projects as well. And so I basically forgot to film very much this month, but I did want to stop by and just go through. I tried to write down a couple of guidelines or things that I want to work on. They're not really like strict goals because they're not necessarily things that can be achieved, but they're always things that I can work toward. And I tried to have a couple of things that can basically direct my focus for the year. And so I wanted to share them with you today. The first guideline that I came up with for this year is to watch out for overcommitment. I have a tendency to say yes to everything because I get excited about a lot of different projects. I definitely was a little bit overcommitted during intern year, I think, but I am trying to be more intentional about where I put my time. And so that's something I'm going to keep working on this year. My second guideline or goal kind of for the year is to develop more teaching points. I want to kind of develop a little library or database of pearls that I can discuss depending on what patients we're seeing or what things come up. I've never really been a fan of like big board talks or chalk talks, at least personally teaching them, but I like to do a lot more of the on-the-fly little bits and pieces of teaching. So yeah, I want to work on that more this year too. The third guideline I came up with is kind of pandemic dependent, which is probably not a good thing, but I am hoping to go on some more small trips this year. Last year, Chai and I had the chance to go to Portland for a week during vacation and to Las Vegas during a long weekend. And those were such highlights of my year. It kind of depends, again, on how this pandemic is shaking out. It is kind of an aspirational goal. It's something that I am looking ahead to for the rest of the year. Other things that I'm working on include doing more cooking at home. I think we got into eating out for a lot of meals, especially toward the end of last year. And so that's something that I want to kind of refocus on eating more at home. I also want to do a little more replacement of social media with books and podcasts. I kind of fell out of the reading habit last year and only read a few books, and I want to change that this year. I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I did last year as well, as I mentioned in my year-end favorites video. And so I hope to continue discovering more podcasts and listening to more of my favorites and just kind of expanding my horizons as often as I can. I'm hopeful that this year is going to continue being a year of learning and growth. And even in the pandemic, there's a lot that I want to do and a lot that I was able to do last year too. And so I want to continue the trend this year, but again, not overcommitting, as I mentioned in my first guideline. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I know that January tends to be a month of reflection and looking forward to the rest of the year. A lot of people make resolutions or themes or guidelines or whatever you want to call it. But I do think it's nice to have a little bit of a framework to structure your year and think about kind of what kinds of things you want to get done and then make plans on how to do them. All right, see you guys next month. Bye.